So I decided, you know, after doing it 2 times in the space of 4.5 years, I think it's been 4.5 years, and every time getting shitted on, actually stalked via social media and harassed, and then literally being accused of doing the same when the receipts say different. I decided that instead of trying to help women such as myself in direct experiences that are, let's say, currently dealing with someone that I've dealt with in the past, instead of trying to specifically help an individual that I see is dealing with someone that, and it happened twice so far. Hey, you're dealing with someone that I had a bad experience with. Be careful. This is what happened. And each time, the first time, someone actually going after me and trying to have me locked up, put in jail, someone being so cognitively dissonant of her own situation and displaying such misplaced anger towards another woman who literally only contacted her to tell her what was happening behind her back. I'm going to tell both stories. One story, the one that happened over almost 5 years ago, recently this weekend resurfaced to the forefront of my attention because I received a screenshot of some information. Somebody contacted me who's affiliated with a woman's Facebook page that I've been having a internet beef with. Internet beef. Never met the person in real life. Don't know the person. A woman that I reached out to and did the same thing I tried to do 4 years ago, which was help her and let her know, hey, the person you're dealing with, I dealt with them. They were not a good man, and be careful. That person responded not with a thank you, but literally with, oh, she wants my man. She's hating on me. Oh, look at us. We're so happy. It's pathetic. It's interesting when you're in a situation you can't see it the way other people actually see you. You could be being made a fool of and you can't see it. And if you have any real friends, they'll tell you. But if you're the type of person that's just popular and does not have real friends, they won't tell you. They'll be like, yeah, 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 but they won't tell you. So, interestingly, I guess it's because of the energy surrounding me, I came across an article and then started to do some research on a young lady named Halle Bailey. She was the Little Mermaid. Now, she's not my generation of actress or singer or rapper. I'm not sure. She's an actress, I know that. I'm learning that she also does music. But I came across an article and I decided to do some research. And then apparently this young woman had a baby by a man that I've never heard of, a rapper, quote unquote. Everybody's a rapper these days, but a rapper named DDG. Again, these are people in their 20s, not my generation. Absolutely have no idea who these people are. The only reason I know who Halle Bailey is, my generation is Halle Berry. She was a few years older than me, but coming up in New York and got her first role. So I'm familiar with Halle Berry, but not Halle Bailey. But anyway, so this young, beautiful young woman. So I came across an article about her and her baby daddy, not her husband, her baby daddy, named DDG. And it's about, apparently at some point last year, there were her fans were telling her to leave him because he was suspected of cheating. And in an article that I found, his response to the cheating rumors was, she won't leave me because I got a mean dick. Now, I don't know who Halle Bailey is. She seems like a classy young lady from a classy. She seems like a class. She's not a sexy red at all. Disney would not have hired her to do The Little Mermaid, even though Disney's a satanic company, another story. But their image they tried to put out is a wholesome image as far as, what they want the public to see, because they're supposed to be a family company. So they would not have hired Haley Bailey to do The Little Mermaid if she was a Sexy Red or Cardi B. Okay? Now, so this man responded via his social media, I guess Twitter or whatever, to the rumors that he cheated, and to her fans, to Haley Bailey's fans, saying, "Leave him. She won't leave because I got a mean dick." I know good girls love bad boys, and opposites do attract. They don't last, but they attract. But the first thing, and again, I'm a different generation, but the first thing I felt when I read this comment was tremendous disappointment and sadness for this young lady, Haley Bailey, because she's obviously in love with her baby daddy, the bad boy, rude boy, DDG. I don't know who he is, but I'm just saying, I'm looking at the picture and I'm like, she's that's what she likes. That's what I guess I went through the same thing growing up. You don't like the good quote unquote nerd guys. You want the guys in the street, the bad boys, the rude boys. Okay. But this is who she chose. This is who she's with. And the fact that he made a statement publicly saying she won't leave me because I got a mean dick, the fact that she stayed with him, granted, okay, she's his baby mama now, so she's kind of stuck in a way. But it's sad, sad, sad. As a woman with daughters, and I'm very close. I have a very close relationship with two out of my three daughters. As a woman who has, two daughters that I'm in their lives, and I love them. They love me. We get along, and we talk. I give them advice, and they give me advice, things like that. I'm very proud of them, of the women that they've become. And my youngest daughter, oh my gosh, she's destined for good things, and I'm so proud of her. Big ups to her daddy and his wife. So it just saddened me that a woman this beautiful and talented would settle for a young man like DDG, and I say settle because he himself. It's nothing I'm assuming because I don't know him, but just reading his one comment shows me a lot about. She won't leave me because I got a mean dick. Jesus Christ. He obviously doesn't even, I don't think, understands how disrespectful that is. How it is disrespectful to his partner to even respond in that manner, to associate a comment like that. She won't leave me because I got a mean dick. It is so gross and disgusting. But let's just say I knew the young lady, or I was able to talk to her and I tried to reach out to her. There's no doubt in my mind, because she's still with this person, there's no doubt in my mind that she would also accuse me of being a hater, an old bitch, a bitch that doesn't know she wouldn't respond with thank you, auntie, for your advice. I'm going to ride this out, but thank you, auntie. Yeah, that was disgusting that he said that. I'm sure she wouldn't respond that way. Which leads me to my situation. And which leads me to literally understand, actually, and empathize with the two women in my past that I've never met. Well, no, I didn't formally meet one, but I met one in a courthouse indirectly when she was there trying to have me locked up with her attorneys. And I'll tell you why. I'm going to get into all of that. I have a new term. It's called KATT Williams. I'm going to KATT Williams this situation for everyone. And I don't have to explain. Once a person says, hey, I'm about to KATT Williams it, I'm about to KATT Williams you, I'm about to KATT Williams this situation, you know that a person is about to drop some facts and some truth and dispel the lies. So I use a famous person. They're famous, I guess, to the 20-something generation and the teenagers. I use the DDG Haley Bailey situation. So as an intro, so anyone listening could understand. Oh, I see what she's doing. I see what Natasha's setting up here. I see what she's doing. If you're not in a situation and you're on the outside looking in, forget about having first-hand experience, which I'm about to get into. DDG's baby mama, this DDG person, his baby mama, made a comment. And apparently, not, I wouldn't even say I read the comment, not even, she didn't accuse him of cheating, but an exchange, a text message exchange, was very suspect. Very suspect. And the comment itself was enough, in my opinion, in my grown opinion, was enough for this young woman, Haley Bailey, to at least question her relationship with her baby daddy, at least to be aware and alert, at least to not be so blinded, like so trusting, you know, God, just so blindly trusting. So the baby mama name is, or internet name, social media name, Ruby Rose. Now, Ruby Rose posted receipts, or a receipt of her and DDG, and she said something like, "Oh, so you're arguing. It's funny, you want to hit me up when you're arguing with Haley Bailey, obviously. You want to hit me up when you're arguing with her, right?" And again, the response, the public response that Haley Bailey gave was to just stick by her man. Okay, fine, I get it. I understand. You're in love. And as DDG himself said, you're dickmatized. He said it's the dick. Your dick. He didn't say it's the love. He didn't say, no, I love her. We love each other. That's my boo. That's my future wife, my baby mom. He didn't say that. He said she's dickmatized. What a classy man. What a classy young man. So, you know, Haley Berry reminds me of the young lady that I tried to help 4 years, almost 5 years ago. And it might be redundant. If you're watching all my videos that I'm posting on Facebook and YouTube, you might have heard this already, but I'm saying the same thing in multiple vlogs and multiple videos and multiple posts to make sure I cover and I get my point across. Years ago, I was dating, seeing a man. There was a man in my life who was very nice and very helpful to me. I met him when I was in CDL school, getting my CDL in driving school. And the first school that I went to, very expensive school, the manager at the time was a man in his 20s, a real bitch-ass nigga. And I was informed by one of the instructors, the one that I'm going to be talking about, that the reason why they made you time out of school, I wasn't able to take my road test. I went through the whole course, and at the very end, I had issues with blind side backing. And usually what they would do is let the person, you know, time out, because you only have about a certain amount of hours in a particular school. It goes by hours. You do 200 hours, then you take your road test. You do 180 hours, you take your road test. So I had maxed out my hours in this school, meaning I had to be signed out regardless of whether I passed the driving test or not. This is before I took the actual Department of Motor Vehicle driving test. So they made sure, this particular manager, this is what I was told by the instructor that I'm going to be talking about. This particular manager had a bet against me. They bet that I was going to lose, that I was not going to be able to pass this course. They looked at me and said, nah, she's not going to be able to drive a truck. She doesn't have what it takes. And so when I was given this end of the class road test to take, And I told them after the first try, I'm having trouble with blindside backing. So my friend at the time, one of the instructors, said, tell them to give you the side blindside backing. This way you can time out of the school and still take your road test. But within the week until you take your road test, I personally, he said, will teach you how to blindside back, right? He had my back. He had my back. So that's not what happened though. The manager of the school, who was this young, Similac fat guy, wet behind the ears, he betted against me. So it was in his best interest to allow me to fail the course. So I did. So what this instructor did was come to me and tell me the story, what happened behind my back, and said, I feel really bad because they did you wrong. They did you wrong. I'm telling you what these dudes were saying behind your back here, and some of them bet against you, and they did you wrong. He deliberately gave you the maneuver that you had trouble with so that you can fail so that he could win the bet. And he felt so bad, and he said, you know what I'm going to do? This was a total stranger that just took a liking to me. He was an instructor there at this school. He said, you know what I'm going to do? Find a school. He gave me the name of a couple of schools. KATT Law was one of them. He said, find a school, register, and then call me. Okay? I'm going to pay for you to get your CDL. Now, the A class, when you go for an A class, which is what I was going for at this school, it's very expensive. It's like $8,000. You can get it for free if you go to a trucking school and sign up with the trucking school and to sign up to drive for them for a year or two. But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be independent. I didn't want to sign up with anybody fresh out of school. So he said, get your B class. You can still, because he asked me what was my goal, and I told him to drive a dump truck and to own a dump truck one, that was my goal at the time. He said, you don't need an A class for that. He said, a B class, you can get a B class for half the money, for half the tuition. He said, contact these schools, see if they have an opening, sign up. And I said, but I don't have the money. What are you talking about? He said, did I ask you for money? He said, did I ask you for money? He said, I got you. So I did. I contacted a school that had a space, KATT Law, and I contacted my friend, and he said he gave them his credit card information, and signed me up for KATT Law. This man, at the time I was living with my sister, I was homeless, I was going through a very rough time in my life. This man and I became friends. We eventually became lovers, but we became friends. He would get a hotel for me every weekend, and we would spend the weekend in a hotel room. And of course, we had sex. We had a good time. Before him, I was celibate. I go through these long periods of time of being celibate. Before this man, I was celibate a couple of years. And I decided, because he seemed like such an amazing human being, he was safe to lay down with. Because who does that? Who steps in, tells you the situation, has your back, tells you the truth, and rescues you? So we had what I would call an affair. He was a single man. He wasn't involved in anybody. He was in his 40s, no kids. And he wasn't my type physically. He was short. My sister said he looked like an Ewok. He was dumpy, but I found him attractive. And I'm not necessarily attracted to quote unquote looks when it comes to men. You have to be sexy. You have to have a certain charm about you, which he possessed. So although he wasn't my stereotypical type, I was drawn to him energetically and I was attracted to him. And we had a great time together. He looked out. He made sure I ate every night. When I needed Ubers to get to and from my school, he provided them. When I was in the school he was in, he took me home. And if I couldn't get there, he would send Uber. Like, he just looked out for me, man. Just looked out for me. Why wouldn't I love that nigga? Just looked out for me. So I ended up graduating from KATT Law. He said he was so proud of me. And as a woman who didn't grow up with a father and never had a father figure, who was abused all her life, having a man say, I'm proud of you, I'm so proud of you, oh my God, that makes me want to cry right now. So, wow, 19 minutes went by already. Let me try to rush this, because I know y'all attention spans are short, so let me try to rush through the rest of this. So, I got my license, and it took me a minute to get a job because, again, I guess people just look at me and assume she can't do this job. But I ended up landing a great position at a company. And They had brand new dump trucks at the time, and I was one of only another. There was another female driver at the company in the dump truck division, but I didn't know she was a female until she actually told me because she looked like a dude. She was a homosexual woman. She eventually quit, and because she said it was low pay, she didn't like the job, so she eventually quit, and said she started her own business. But so then I became the only female dump truck driver at this particular company. But that's post number 2. So let me just stick to. So this guy who helped me through CDL school, after a while, the relationship got stale. He did what a lot of men do to women. He started ghosting me. He started acting distant. He started acting funny. And being a single man, no children, you know, he would talk sometimes about wanting children, but then he also said, when he was into me, when we were seeing each other, I said, well, I'm never having any more children. I'm done with children. I'm a woman of a certain age and I'm not having any more children. So he said to me, well, shit, I don't have to have a child. I would like a child. Every man, wants a seed. But he was like, I don't have to have children. Basically pandering to, in a good way, pandering to, well, shit, I like Natasha. If I choose to be with her, she can't have children. So I might have to live a life without having my own biological children. But he didn't know. And I ended up telling him, I'm poly. I don't mind if you got a woman and chose her to have your children, because I'm cool with that. I'm not necessarily monogamous, and when I say not monogamous, I only want one man, but I don't mind 2 women. So anyway, but he started ghosting me. He started showing weird behavior, and being that I know, been around a while, so I've been there, done that. I started questioning his behavior, like, you're acting funny these days, and you used to call me every day and talk to me for hours, and then you used to come and see me at least 2, 3 times a week, and you used to spend time with me, and now you're just acting dry. You're drying up. And so my spidey sense told me he's seeing someone. That's what that is about. There's someone else in his life that he's taken an interest to. He denied it. He denied it. I'm just busy. I got 2 jobs. I do my coding and I do my job, and I work 12 hours a day, da 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 da. And I was like, okay, that's plausible. That's plausible. But my intuition, I just knew better because I've been around too long. I knew better. But he denied it. He denied it. No, that's not it. It's no. I said, is there someone else? Just keep it real with me. And then he acted like I was annoying him. Like, no, I told you no. There's no one else. God, no, stop, no. I said, Al, are we still going to, I said, are we still seeing each other? Like, what's up? Because if we're not, let's just part as friends. We don't have to part as in a negative way. As you cool as fuck, you did a lot for me. Let's be friends, but don't lie to me. Nah, it ain't about nobody else, right? So anyway, I ended up moving out of my sister's place and going to live in a beautiful extended stay hotel in a really exclusive, nice neighborhood, which is where I'm making this video from. Not the hotel room, but I ended up going to an extended stay hotel in a nice neighborhood. And kind of like saying, you know what, I'm not going to focus on him because I'm so like over men and their bullshit in my life. So I was like, I'm not going to focus on him. If he served his purpose in my life, if that's what the universe sent him in my life to do, to help me get to the next level, fine. To help me out of a bad situation, fine. So I started focusing on me and everything. Anyway, didn't really sweat it too much, but I did want to share the good news. So I was like, hey, I got a job, with a great company. I moved out of my sister's house. I'm in a hotel. What's up? How you doing? He ended up coming over, to the hotel room, and we had sex. He was like, I missed you or whatever, and it was nice. It was casual, 2 adults doing adult shit. And I think that was in like a December. I don't remember the dates. I don't know the dates right now offhand because that was several years ago. So we had sex, and I asked him again, like, what's up with you? Are you seeing anyone? And he denied it. He said no. At the time, I didn't know there was a woman that was pregnant. She couldn't have been more than a couple months pregnant by him. But he didn't mention her. He had sex with me. We kicked it, and he left. But again, I knew that something wasn't right. So I just focused on my new job, and I focused on saving money, and then my son got in trouble with the law. And then, I focused for about 6.5, 7 months on other shit. But I had borrowed money from him. Like, he helped me out a lot. But during the end of our relationship, I said, hey, I need $400 to pay for this car rental or whatever. And he gave it to me. But it was a loan. It was not him voluntarily helping me. It was me asking him for help. So 6.5 months later, I contacted him because I had enough money that I had extra money to give him. And I said, I'm going to pay him back. He was good to me, and I don't do people like that. So I contacted him and said, hey. He was like, hey. I said, what's up, man? How you doing? How you been? It was good. I said, look, what's your cash app? You still got the same cash app because I'm gonna send you this money. He was shocked. He was like, I didn't think you were gonna pay me back. I thought you were just like, all right, fuck him, goodbye, and I never see you again. I said, no, no, no. I always intended to pay you back. I said, that's not how I am. I promised I would pay you back. And although it took me a lot longer than I thought it would, I'm paying you back. And he was like, wow, that's dope. He was like, that's dope. I appreciate that. And I paid him back. Anyway, we ended up talking, being friendly, and he ended up coming back over to the hotel. He came back over to the hotel. The time frame, but it was August, because I remember my daughter's birthday was like the next day. It was like August 8th. And he came over, and I greeted him, and it was a nice warm greeting. He came, we talked. I noticed when we went to get something to eat, he had a new car. He didn't have a car, he had an SUV. Now, although I wasn't seeing this man for a good 6.5, 7 months, I would think about him and I would dream about him. Because again, I don't have sex with a lot of men. I don't have sex often. So being that he was the last man that I had sex with, and it was almost 7 months since we had sex, and before him, it was 2 years before I had sex. So, I sat down, I would think about him a lot. So I would have dreams about him. And in one of my dreams, he came to me and he had gotten someone pregnant. This was in a dream. So when I actually saw him in real life, and he came to the hotel and he had a new vehicle that was an SUV, right away, because of who I am, I'm not going to get into it right now, but because of who I am and because I have these premonitions and because I'm kind of psychic in a way, very, very psychic, I looked at him in his face and I said, you got somebody pregnant, didn't you? And he put his head down and he was like, Tosh, look, let me tell you what happened. I said, oh my God. My heart sunk because I honestly thought we were rekindling our relationship. I did. I thought we were going to continue, get back to seeing each other and having fun together. But when he acknowledged that I was correct, yeah, I was very disappointed. I was hurt. So we went and got some food, and this time I paid for it. He was like, wow, I'm always paying for everything. And the fact that you reached in your pocket and you paid, he said, are you sure? I said, nah, I got this, baby. It's the least I can do. It was everything you've done for me. We went to Panda Express. We got something to go. And he was like, little things like that, they matter. And that's why I thought he was such a cool friend, because he was like, yo, that's dope. Thank you. Because he would pay for it in a heartbeat. That's the type of man he was. So we went back to the hotel and I was upset. I cried and I was like, damn, man. Damn, yo. And he told me who she was. He finally broke down, admitted everything. He copped a plea. Now, I don't know where you're from, but if you know what cop a plea means is, Tosh, nah, Tosh. Oh my God. Look, let me explain. Nah, she wasn't my girl. She ain't my girl. This chick that I've known as a friend. She befriended my mom's. Yo, she was only like 19, 20 when I met her. I've been like mentoring her. But this chick, oh my God, she been wanting me for years. And yo, she trapped me. She got me drunk. We went to LA. He said she followed me to LA. I went to LA on business. She followed me there. We hung out. She got me drunk, Tosh. And man, I didn't even want to do it. I didn't even come in her. I'm telling you, Tosh. And I'm sitting there, and a part of me wants to believe everything this man is saying because I loved him. I wasn't in love with him, but I did love him. And I was like, ay, ay, ay. And then my mind started kicking in, my rational mind that I have kicked in and was like, okay, so what? He got he showed me a picture, a beautiful girl, young, way younger than him, like 17 years younger than him. And he was like, I don't have no kids, and, it ain't the worst thing that could happen. I figured, fuck it, why not, And then I said, well, are you going to marry her? Then I said, again, my spidey sense, my intuition tells me things. I said, did you ask her to marry you? Do you live with her? No, I don't live with her. She did get a house, right? Yo, she stalked me, man. She went and bought a house literally down the street from my mom's. Yo, because he lived with his mother. He was like, yo, da-da-da-da-da. So a part of me was like, this nigga's lying. This is bullshit. But another part of me was like, because I loved him as a person so much and I thought so highly of him, another part was like, nah, he ain't lying. He's being real. So we ended up having sex. We had passionate sex. Passionate. I laid there. We weren't supposed to have sex. He was just giving me a back rub because I have issues with my back. And he was just like touching me and helping me. And then he got really, really passionate. And we ended up, going at it. Nah, Tosh, you don't understand. Yo, I miss you. You don't understand. I don't even want to be with her like that. I did give her a ring, but I didn't propose to her. I just gave her a ring. Cause what the fuck? You weren't in my life. He said, we haven't seen each other in 6 months. I figured, fuck it. She's beautiful. She got her shit together and she's having my baby. Fuck it. That's how he pitched it to me. So I said, well, is she bi? Does she like women? Because I don't mind being auntie mom. And he laughed. He was like, I don't think she gonna go for that. And I was like, you never know, ask her, because that's how I think. I'm open like that. So anyway, we had a great time with him. And after he left that day, I guess he felt guilty about sleeping with me. I don't know. I guess he felt guilty about the whole thing because I would call him and he wouldn't answer and he wouldn't return my call for like a few days. So I said, look, hey, check this out. I'm starting to have weird feelings about what happened. Like you came and you copped this whole plea, but I'm thinking you lying. So then he started acting shady again. I guess he figured, I got in over my head or whatever. So I said, look, real talk, he told me who the woman was. I Googled, I looked her up. I found out, he told me where she worked. He gave me basically everything I needed to know about this woman. So I got her number. It's easy. Once you have someone's full name, you can get their number. So I got her number, and I decided I wanted to tell her what happened because I kept thinking of myself when I was growing up and how niggas did me. I kept thinking of my daughter who was in a bad relationship at the time. I kept thinking of things and I said, you know what? This is a beautiful young woman. She's a kid. She's not even 30 years old yet. She's not in me and this dude's generation. So you know what? I feel bad. I need to tell her what he did. Honest to God. I reached out to her. No, he came back over one night. He came back over another night and we were talking. We didn't have sex this night, but he was like, all right, I'm going to come talk to you. I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm going to come talk to you. So he came back over and he gaslit the shit out of me. His whole demeanor was different. He was acting shady and he admitted, well, I do stay with her now. But like he started to like admit certain, I was like, okay, so you lied. You came over to get sex from me or whatever, but nah, that's not what it was, Natasha. I really did miss you. I really was feeling you. I really was. But you know what? What am I supposed to do? What do you want me to fucking do? He was like, I don't want to hurt you, and I don't want to hurt her. He was like, at the end of the day, I don't want to hurt anybody. I believe him. I believe he was sincere at that moment. He said, but what the fuck you want me to do? And I was like, be honest. I want you to tell her the truth. That's what I want you to do. I don't want you to leave her. She's pregnant. But I want you to tell her about me. I can't fucking do that. What are you, fucking crazy? I was like, no, I'm not crazy. You have to be honest. Be honest with her. If she loves you, she'll stay. But you got to be honest. Now, I'm not going to do that. Why would you want me to tell her that? Because you cheated. You got to be honest. Then he started gaslighting the shit out of me. Didn't know. Once I realized he was gaslighting me, when he finally left the hotel, he tried so hard to calm me down. But when he finally left, he called me on his way home and we talked and I recorded the whole conversation. Those were my receipts. I learned. Men lie, niggas lie, get proof. So, anyway, I guess right before he got home, because we talked for about 30 minutes, but right before he got home, I hung up from him and I called the girl. I called her. I don't know if he was there already, but she answered the phone, but she answered like this, hello? And I said, hi, is this? And I said her name. She said, yes. And I was like, you don't know me, but my name is Natasha, and I need to talk to you about da, 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 da. And the phone went dead. So I'm thinking, oh my God, he made it in the house, and he grabbed the phone, he took the phone, whatever. Because, I've been in abusive relationships where men have literally grabbed my phone and beat me over the head with it and shit like that. So I'm thinking, oh my God, he saw her on the phone with me, and he lashed out at her. I didn't know. I was just thinking. So I called her, rang the phone a couple times. She didn't answer. All right. I reached out to her on social media. I don't know. I'll make a long story short. The woman's reaction eventually, after me attempting 4 times to reach out to her, 4 times, and 3 times directly to her, and 1 time through someone she knew on one of her social media sites. I was in the process of making a video actually to send it to her on YouTube when I got a knock on my door, the hotel room, and it was the Cobb County Police serving me with or a temporary restraining order. So he managed to, I guess, cop a plea with her, do what do you call it? Do damage control, tell her whatever lies he needed to tell her, and convince her that I was some crazy bitch, some crazy ex-lover that was stalking him. Bunch of bullshit. So when I got this this temporary restraining order, anybody can go to court. The law needs to be changed. Anybody can go to a courthouse. Anybody can go to court. Especially women do this a lot and cry and pretend they're being stalked or pretend they're being harassed and get a temporary restraining order. It's called ex parte. It's wrong. It's unfair. It shouldn't happen. So there should be some kind of proof allowed before a person gets a restraining order slapped on them. But it's temporary, meaning come to court in 30 days, plead your case, and we'll see if it's warranted. This restraining order is really warranted or not. The rest of the story I'll tell another time. But anyway, so this was her reaction to me trying to help her. And then I got mad. Once I got that temporary restraining order, I was like, this fucking little bitch. Like, what the fuck? Who does that, bitch? I'm trying to tell you what your nigga did behind your back and what he said behind your back. And your response is this? It was extreme to me. I was like, what? This bitch is restraining order for what? Bitch, I don't even know where you live. Like, I haven't been to your house. I know where you live because he told me, but I don't. And I did end up one time in her subdivision because she had moved into a brand new subdivision that was unfinished. And the job I had was delivering gravel and material. And one day I ended up in her subdivision. And then I said, wait a minute. This is familiar. This is down the street from this dude's mama's house. And then I went on my phone. I parked my truck after I unloaded my delivery, and I pulled up her address. And I said, oh shit, she lives around the corner. Now, mind you, he told me he didn't live with her. So because he had told me he didn't live with her and I ended up in her subdivision, I went around in a circle in my dump truck and passed the house where he said she lived and saw his car parked outside and said to myself, wow, he lied. He lives here. He lives here. He lives with her. Just like I asked him, he said, no, I don't. I help her out from time to time, but I don't. He does. And that day I was like, oh shit. But I left. I was like, oh shit, let me leave before they see the truck parked outside and think, So I left and I was like, they really will think I'm stalking if they see my truck. But it was a delivery. It was literally a delivery. And that was provable. So there was no worries on that. So I left anyway. So long story short, that's what happened back then. And I promised back then I would never, ever try to help another black woman or a woman out again. Like if I ever, I never thought it was going to happen to me again. I said, but if I ever get involved with another fucked up individual and we break up, and I know he's a piece of shit, I'm just going to move on. I'm never going to try to help another woman again. And guess what happened? 6 months ago, the dude that I stopped seeing, right? We parted ways. Started posting shit to social media deliberately on purpose, despite me and perhaps other exes. But he was being blatant on his social media. I saw it. And I reached out to the woman. She plastered herself. She made herself known on his social media. So I clicked on her profile and I saw who she was. And I went through her Facebook and I said, wow, she seems very naive. She's one of those, religious women, and she thinks Jesus sent her the perfect man. And I'm like, okay, Jesus Christ, this poor woman has no idea who she's seeing. So I reached out to her. I waited a couple days and thought about what to do. And then I reached out to her on on another platform's Instagram, basically. And I said 2 lines because I was already jaded from what happened years ago. And I said, this dude is not, I said his name. He's not who you think he is. Please be careful. I didn't go into no paragraph. I didn't go into no long speech. I didn't send her no music videos. I didn't send her no vlogs. I simply said, he is not who you think he is. Be careful. I just wanted to give her a heads up. She responded, should we talk? And I was not in the mood to talk. And I said, no, I can't right now. I was hurt. I was upset. And I said, no, I can't right now. Because the dude had treated me very poorly, which is why I stopped seeing him. The last time we saw each other, he was nasty to me again. And it wasn't the first time. And he walked out on me and I let him go. And I said, goodbye, you selfish motherfucker. Goodbye. And that was it. So seeing him plaster a woman all over his Facebook when he acted like he had issues with even being seen in public with me, was very hurtful. It was very hurtful. So, and this dude was a single dude. He wasn't married, you know. So I was like, why is he acting so fucked up and funny, and so acting so paranoid? Like, why are you trying to trap me into a relationship, and I don't want no relationship, and this and that. I was like, I know, you know, whatever. But so, anyway, I reached out to this woman, and I said those things, those two sentences to her, and I left it at that. So that was like on a Friday, and on a Sunday, what this woman did, instead of, you know, like, okay, fine, like, well, there's a woman in his past that he hurt, and she saw me on social media and it hurt her. So, you know, I'm just going to keep a low profile and deal with this dude and find out the type of dude he really is, blah, blah, blah. No, you know what she did? She went to church. And I think in one of my vlogs, I said, you know, I don't believe in religion and all that foolishness. So she goes to church, pulls out her cell phone during service with this man that I used to see. A man that told me he does not believe in God. He is an agnostic, he didn't say the word agnostic, but he does believe in something like a creator or whatever, but he's not religious. He doesn't believe in all that Christianity and the Bible shit. He told me this before I even told him I felt the same way. And so I'm thinking, why is this man up in church with this woman? I said, damn it, he's using her. He's playing her. And in my opinion, she was not a physically attractive woman. And he had told me he don't really care about that. As long as a woman does what he tells her to do. Do what the fuck I tell you to do. You're going to do what the fuck I tell you to do. That's how he used to talk to me. Yeah, I know. What was I doing in a verbally abusive relationship to begin with? I know. But anyway, so I thought I was helping this woman by at least warning her, like just giving her a heads up. Don't be fooled. Be careful. Watch your step. You know, basically, just be aware of the fact that he might not be who you think he is. So her response was to go to church with him with her cell phone out during service and cuddle up with him. And in other words, there's a woman out there hurt over you. Let me hurt her even more. She felt threatened by me. She felt like she needed to prove something to me. Like, oh my God, there's a threat. Let me double down on this. And I'm like, what? Why would you? And I said to myself, why would she do something so hurtful? I just told her, I saw them on Facebook. You know, it's like I made a video on my YouTube. She saw my vlog on YouTube with me saying how it hurt to see them together on Facebook. So her response to me being hurt to seeing them together is to hurt me even more. And that's what started this latest situation. Because then I didn't look at her anymore as a possible victim of his. I looked at her as a dumbass, one of those dumbass, desperate ass hoes who thinks because she got a fine man, he's fine. Compared to her, Jesus Christ. Like he's fine, she's very unattractive physically, in my opinion. In my opinion. Okay, now that's filter notwithstanding. So that turned me off on her, and that made me look at her like, you piece of shit little fucking sorry ass little bitch. And then I started vlogging about her. Now, mind you, my social media, my YouTube, I vlog, I journal, I talk my shit about all kinds of stuff. So at the time, I wasn't taking stuff off of her Facebook and reposting it, but I was just like, let me tell y'all what this dumbass heifer did. Didn't even mention her name. I was just talking, you know. Let me tell you what some dumb bitch did. So apparently, then she started watching me religiously on social media, and it became tit for tat on social media. I would say something about her, and then she would post something with the two of them together to hurt my feelings. Well, every time I post with him, I'm showing her, oh, he's with me. He loves me. And so she knowing I'm watching their social media, knowing I was watching definitely his social media. And it got to the point where one day I reached out and I said to him directly, I made a video directly to him, calling him by name, saying, stop it. What you're doing is you're taunting me, and I'm telling you now to motherfucking stop it. And he actually complied. He took from public view the videos of them together. He took them off public, and he must have told her to do the same, because then her videos disappeared, the ones of them together. And then I said, good. Now I can stop being so obsessive and looking at his page, move on with my life. And even if I do look, I won't see anything that's gonna, you know, make my blood pressure go up and make me have that anxiety attack. Okay? And it was like that for a little while. And then for some reason, I don't forget if it was her or him, it started up again. Oh no, I think what happened was he had got a dog, the same dog that I used to have that he met. He went and got him a puppy. Actually, she went and bought him a puppy, but I didn't know she bought it yet. I thought he bought it because he posted just a picture of him and his puppy, just his puppy. And when I saw it, I immediately thought about my Cane Corso who died. And I was like, oh my God, this dude went and got the same dog. He must have really, really been impressed by the way my dog looked, because he used to have a Rottweiler and he lost his Rottweiler. So he ended up getting the dog. So I made a post on my page knowing that even though we're not seeing each other and not talking, I knew he was still watching my Facebook just like I was watching his Facebook. I knew that he was still looking at my social media. And I could tell by the posts that he was making that he was still watching my social media. So when he posted his dog publicly, because I had told him before, indirectly via social media, when you want me to see something, go ahead and post it publicly, because that's the only reason you would post something publicly, is to show me or your ex or the other ex or whatever. So when he posted the dog, I responded like, congratulations, yo, that dog is beautiful. Oh my God. It makes me think of my dog. You know what? I'm so happy for you, because he had bought a house with the help of this woman. And I was just like, yo, man, you doing good. I'm happy for you. I'm proud of you. She must have seen it. No, she not must have. She saw it. And I guess her insecurity kicked in. And instead of just ignoring my post, because I addressed the post to him, knowing he's looking at my page, congratulating him in a nice way, she posted on her social media, him buying the dog, like with him, with saying, I can't resist. I just can't say no. He gets whatever he wants from me. Basically letting me know, bitch, I bought him the puppy. And I was like, okay, you just showed the world that you're being used. Like, why would you buy a man you're not married to a $3,000 dog? But her post was, I can't resist. Like, basically, I can't help it. When he wants me to do something, I just have to do it. I can't say no to him. And I laughed because I'm like, I wouldn't brag on being used. Like, she's looking at it as, well, I'm taking care of my man. I'm looking out for my man. But I'm looking at it as, baby, he's using you. One minute y'all are fussing, or he's showing you his ass. He's being ghosting and being bipolar, and the next minute when he wants something, you better get it. And that's the only way to get back in his good graces. You better do what he tells you to do. So I laughed, and I made a rebuttal about her being used. I made a social media post about this dumbass country bumpkin literally bragging on buying a nigga a puppy. Now, if a dude buys a woman a puppy, that's so fucking romantic. Like, brag on that. He bought her at one point a $20 bouquet of flowers. Orange flowers. Orange must be her favorite color. If not, why wouldn't you buy her red? But anyway, so I made a comment. And then again, then it became, she's watching me, accusing me of watching her, and I'm watching her. She's stalking him and her, who were supposed to be in a relationship together, stalking me, but accusing me of stalking them. The difference is, I used to fuck the dude, so I had a reason to go look at his page, because I was still caught up in my emotions regarding him. Where even though I didn't want to be with him because he wasn't a respectful man towards me, I was caught up in my emotions, so I was still compelled to go look at his page. And then knowing he's posting things for me to see, things like that, right? But my thing is, if you're in a relationship with someone and you're secure in your situation, why would you be worried about what his ex is doing? Some woman that he used to see. Why would you be worried about what his ex-lover is doing? So, and then it just escalated to the point where she was going way overboard, trying to hurt me with posts. And I said, okay, I done asked this motherfucker one time to stop, and they not stopping. And then they teamed up. So then it got to the point where it's like, all right, gloves are off. So then I took her public post and reposted them. You want to taunt me? Let's show everybody what you're doing. Right? And it's about to come full circle, because what happened was when I started reposting her own posts and making vlogs, KATT WILLIAMS, I was doing the KATT WILLIAMS on her own posts. Apparently, the woman from my past, this Puerto Rican girl, remember one I was just telling you about in the beginning, is still watching me, and she resurfaced because it was just brought to my attention this past weekend that Cucaracha posted something, and I didn't read it. I just read it this weekend. I didn't see it. I didn't pay attention to it before, but basically someone who's still watching me, the woman who's still watching me from all those years ago, who was pregnant and her man cheated all those years ago, is still religiously following me on social media. Once she saw that I was having a beef with another woman, took it upon herself to reach out to that woman and form an alliance. How fucking funny is that?